GBP pros. Welcome everyone. Those that are on the live, those that are catching us on Facebook, and those that are catching the replay on YouTube and on our podcast. Guys, I just wanted to remind you the GBP pros goal is twofold. One is to help those agencies get better results for their clients. And number two is if you're business owners to help you grow your business, and also for the agencies to help grow your client base, to help you help more clients in creating better results. And the way we do this, guys, is we invite guests on GBP Pros to give you over the shoulders examples on how to get this done, right? And today's guest is my friend, my buddy, my partner in crime, um, with All This Local, right? And a lot of people have seen me on All This Local, talking about All This Local. What is it? What's going on? So I wanted to kind of bring him on so he can introduce the platform. It's a lot better, talk about it, show it off, kind of announce it out there. It's kind of like I don't know if you want to call it a soft launch, because it's constantly growing, and we're adding to the platform constantly. But I just wanted to bring John on here, and again, to show us how we can improve our agency with retaining and maintaining clients, how we can improve our prospecting, how we can improve our management, basically with costs, to save us time and money, to do more with less on these things. If you're an agency owner, or get better results for your clients, where if you got those clients that are like, man, what have you done for me this week, to be able to report things like that. Hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're done. And then there's going to be a new concept that John's going to talk about, that I think it's based off of like the retail. So with that being said, guys, I want to introduce John. John, how you doing, man? Thank you. I appreciate you for being on here.
Thanks for having me, Alfredo. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Now, John, for those that don't know you, and it looks like you're having some difficulty
I
too here with the
apologize about
camera.
my camera. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, so no worries. So John, for those that don't know you, for those that never heard of you, if you can kind of give us like where you've been, where you're coming from, as far as, and how you got to this point, and what you have going on for the future.
Okay. I come from a background of retail development, and when all marketing was push marketing, when we didn't have the internet, when we used newspapers, radio, television, and I had some very large accounts with multiple locations like J.C. Penney, Carter Holly Hale, and things like that. And we used to be extremely focused on. We used mapping systems that were focused heavily on direct mail and sampling and things like that. But that's where we started. I then got involved in healthcare, and once I was involved in healthcare, I owned a dental plan. I started a dental plan in 1997. It was Aaron says he can't see the meeting, by the way, Alfredo.
Okay, I'll invite him in.
Yeah. Anyway, so I started in healthcare. I owned a dental plan. It was a 2 to 100 employee dental benefit plan, and we built a network of dentists, about 700 or so, throughout the United States. And when I sold the plan to AIG, again, we were focused on what we call trade area marketing with our 700 network. But when we sold the plan, many of those dentists ended up coming with me to do marketing within my own agency, which was at the beginning of the internet. Everything was website based. There was no local. It was really just pretty much, other browsers and Google, and we were still doing heavy push marketing. From that, we were with the beginning of the internet all the way through. We kind of kept a healthcare presence, but now we don't do any more agency work. We quit that. Most of the tools that I'm going to show you today were developed out of my experience of working with Google as local SEO developed throughout time. there's this really good presentation on Google that shows what was local when it started. Well, it used to be 10 listings and now it's 3. And they occasionally kick back and forth. Well, maybe we should do 2 or maybe we should do 4. But the bottom line is now it's 3. And local has gone from being really nothing, I mean, just zero search, to being the majority of search because of the smartphone and because GPS has taken over local SEO. And to the extent where, like 2 years ago, if you would have asked me, Alfredo, I would have said, hey, I'm not even sure the website's even going to be necessary in 2 years. But what Google decided to do was when they built their internal systems, and they basically made brand a major part of the issue. They use the website because it's already there, and they use that as a major component to determine the brand component of what amounts to proximity to a location for a GPS smartphone, relevance in the categories that you offer for your niche, and then the brand authority, which is basically designed around really how strong are other people recommending, or how many places are you hooked up to your website that are referring back to you. So with this methodology, we created All This Local, and All This Local has been in development for 3 years. We started with the mapping component, and now it's turned into a completely automated platform that will manage your Google business profile. You don't need Bright Local. You don't need anything like Local Viking, or you don't really need any other tool out there. You just basically need this for management. And then it also does local SEO. It has over 300, uh, what all of the experts would tell you are ranking factors built into all this, where they automatically consider these against all of your competitors that are in your local area. And all of this comes together to create local SEO and the tasks you need to management. Anyway, that's kind of my story.
Yeah,
In
that's
a long,
great. Love it, love it. And again, guys, that's one thing I love about the guests that we bring on is that they're in the trenches. They have done it. They feel what we feel as agency owners, and that's one of our goals is to help our agencies to grow their business, or like I said, number 2 is get better results for their existing clients. And that's what I love with John. That's how all this came about, in his background and how it came up to this point. Um, so John, if you could, if you want to share your screen, if you had a
let me
presentation, kind
share
of, if you
right now. Yes.
that
Okay.
that way,
Um,
give me 1 second. Let me do this real quick, John.
it
That
says it's
way,
disabled.
yeah, go ahead. No, it's enabled now. I just did it.
It still
That
says,
way we can
okay.
one of the things we want to show you, not just tell you. There's one thing about management. It's one thing about, what it does. So, yeah, just jump right in there, John.
Can you see my screen now?
Yep, we can.
Okay. So, as an agency, you think about it, what would you really want? And I'm sorry if my camera keeps going in and out. I apologize. But anyway, what would you really want in an ideal SEO software for for any local client? Besides being affordable, of course, you'd want something that not only does all of the necessary work and manages the profile, but you'd want it to have these key factors that you see on your screen. Number one, you would want accuracy. In other words, you want geogrid mapping that doesn't, that targets what we call the trade area. And trade area is not a new concept. It's been around since the beginning of marketing, but for some reason, local SEO has missed the trade area and missed the terminology and missed really the goal of what realtors use when they sell a location. Is if you have a location-based business and you have customers coming to you, you have a trade area. Now, that trade area used to be defined by miles from the location, from census tract, and from zip code. But today, who defines that? It's actually defined by drive time. And drive time is really the critical factor. How long does it take to get to a location. The second thing you want from a SEO software is you want to be able to target. You want to have keywords. You want to know which keywords to use. You want to know how much search is going on. Not within, you want to know specifically for your trade area as well. And you want to be able to optimize those within your profile. The third thing is you need to know what competitors you have. If you don't have the right trade area defined, you're going to get competitors that aren't really your competitors, and you're going to get customers. You're going to miss customers that aren't really coming there. So competitor analysis is really important. You also need to be able to optimize your profile. In other words, Google has, if you've ever looked at your profile, they have a little optimization tool in there that doesn't go nearly far enough. But actually, there's all of the ranking factors that Google considers important for optimization are things that you really want to have built into a tool. And more importantly, you want to know how many of those things your competitors are doing so that you can surpass them. The other thing is you need to be able to have a tool that handles one client or 1,000 clients. And all this is capable of that. We've done in the past 3 years, our development team has worked with up to 7,500 locations and defining them and working with them. And, we built special systems for it by trade area. The other thing you want is really good reporting. Number one, you need to be able to prospect for new clients, and you need to be able to let your clients know that you're doing the work, because every month an agency is on the hot plate because that credit card bill goes out and they see it, their wives see it, and they need to be able to prove your existence both through success and showing that you're doing the work. And all this does that too. The other thing you want to do in a software is you would like it to be white label. Who wants to sell somebody else's system? You want to be able to put your name on it. And we don't only put our name on the reporting, you can put your name right on the dashboard, and everything within the dashboard becomes yours. The last thing, and number 8, is automation. Today, AI is the thing. You want an automated tool so that you can do things faster, better, and you want a tool that looks and is able to take all of these ranking factors and put them into an automation so that you can focus on selling, increasing your bottom line, and letting all this make you shine. And that's really what it does. So, let me just jump right in. Is it okay if I jump right into it?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
you're
so
fine.
let's look at the first thing. Accuracy. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but it's crucial that that step is in the right direction. What's really important to this is that if you're going to start out with the problem of marketing a business, you have to start in the right place. You have to define the right trade area, and you have to do everything so that you can identify and spend the money effectively and not waste money going in areas that aren't important. So this is a trade area. This has been around, like I said, it goes back to, you can tell I'm older. I've been doing this a long time. This is what a location needs to do with an agency. They need trade area definition. Number one, it's because 95% of their customers come from this trade area. Number two, it aids in identifying the competitors, and it enables strategic planning. You'll see that the primary trade area, which is right around the location, makes up to 75% of their local customers, where you have 15 to 20% in the secondary. Fringe is always the area where, let's say, they live and they drive into a city, and then they'll visit a dentist, or they shop or go to a restaurant, but they actually live on the outside, and that's called the fringe. And it usually is very minor, 3 to 5% of the equation. Now, we're really lucky because back when in the day, we always used MRI Simmons to study retail trade areas with JCPenney and all of the other clients we had. And they actually have luckily done a recent study with 60,000 consumers in the United States. So we can say this isn't a small sample. This is absolutely true. And what it proved is that 87% of consumers travel 15 minutes or less for purchases. 97.2% of urban consumers travel 15 minutes or less. So what does that tell you? That your local business trade area, when you define it, should be no more than 10 to 20 minutes drive time from your location. And all this was built on this principle. It doesn't do GeoGrid maps based on spatial, between GPS points, or doing giant maps 80 miles away that have no relevance to a business. It focuses on the trade area. Let me show you how this relates. If you look at a square GeoGrid done with, say, some of our competitors, they just slap a grid over a location, and what you find out is, gee, how am I ranking? Well, that doesn't help you in marketing the practice. It does tell you that, okay, they're looking good here, they're not doing so well there, but it fails to define the trade area. If you look at this back here, this is the trade area here, and you can see very quickly you miss the customers on the bottom of it, you miss the customers on the top, and you're including competitors who have no business, you have no business including them in any of your marketing plans or worrying about what they do, because these customers out here are not going to go to this practice. Budgets on local marketing are tight. They're going to get tighter. And if you want to do a business right, you want to focus on where the proximity filter focuses and target their trade area and get as much of this green as you can. And you can't do that if you don't accurately define the trade area. This shows you square. Okay, so let's look at circles. Same problem. By the time I brought this circle out to encompass a trade area, I would include so many non-competitors and customers that I would not be able to effectively target. At last, as a local agency, we focus on local SEO and GBP management, but you can use these maps to target all of your other marketing. You can hyper-focus, hyper-localize if you do any type of grid stuff where you do direct mail, you do you're planning on anything that includes ads, where you're defining suburban or areas within the trade area. You can do that better with our mapping system. So you get enhanced accuracy on the targeting. Here's a 15-minute trade area. You'll notice how irregular the shape is. This is because it's based on traffic patterns and how far people really go. You get realistic customer reach because these are your customers. In fact, if you look at that thing I was showing you, the primary trading area is right here. So, showing a big square map with a lot of green for rankings doesn't tell you where you need to focus. You have focused competitors. So all the competitors for your category and your niche should be within this trade area. And you actually can optimize all those additional resources. We have a patent pending. Nobody has our technology. If somebody, we went ahead and I filed a patent for it, and we feel very good about it being accepted because we developed this because we know this is how people shop and think and how we have to analyze competitors. So you can see here, this is a bakery in New York, okay? They were doing really good business. They've been in business for 50 years in the international national market by doing direct mail and big on holidays, but they wanted to increase local customers in Manhattan coming to their location, but they needed to identify properly. And you can see we were able with all this, they were on a beta testing program, they were able to increase their local presence tremendously. In fact, we have them as a case history I think I can show you later. So if you look at drive time targeting, only we have this. If you look at all of these other major companies, all other platforms do not have GeoGrid by drive time. It's done in a completely different way. The technology is hyper focused. The way we do service businesses with GeoGrid is by polygon, but we don't do it like other people. Again, we look at the exact distance that the plumber, electrician is willing to drive. How far now is he willing to drive? And then that becomes his territory so that you can only focus on that territory. It's not done with a circle or a square. it's done with Polygon, and you can eliminate areas that aren't really part of the equation. The second thing you want, targeting. Recommended keywords, we do that. We use Google, it comes directly from them, and we are on the API and we say, look, Google says these are the keywords for this category that we recommend you go after, and you're given those, but you can pick whatever keywords you want. We also give search volume analysis. With local, you want to focus on local keywords that are going to provide the most search, because that's what's going to ring the cash register for the client. This whole long tail keyword and focusing on things that don't really have any search can look good on a map, but it doesn't make the client any money, and it won't ring the phone. So what you want to do, all this will identify this for you and allow you to target these things, and will provide all the tools that you need to do this according to the Google rules, so that you can improve your search volume. We provide market visibility. Most people don't do this. I've seen other names for it, but it's not the same thing. You want to be able to tell your client, for this keyword, you own this much market visibility for this keyword in your trade area, not on a giant map, not within a small area, but you want to say, this is your trade area, 15 minutes from the location. These are your competitors. And among all your top competitors, and we include all of them, and then we also focus on the top 20, this is how much market visibility you have. We know that for market visibility, that Google has the map pack on a queue. It isn't on a fixed, I see this misinterpreted all the time. You can't go in and own a keyword in the map pack. What you can do is do solid SEO, do what Google asks you to do, pay attention to ranking factors, or let all this do it for you, and your market visibility will go up in your search area for the 80% of the searches going to GPS, which is usually the case. Only B2B, and in some case, competitor searches and other things, really use the website, because if you look at your phone, it's kind of buried on there. We also provide competitor keyword analysis, and we also provide cost per click data. This is very important. If you want to show a client, why should you do local SEO? Because you don't want to pay $20 a click. Google AdWords has gone up over 400% in the last 4 years, and you need to look at local SEO. All this local can help you with that and help your clients save money, while it allows you to provide a better job for them. Competitor analysis. Again, like I was saying, we have so many variables, and we're in beta phase right now. I heard Alfredo saying, well, what phase are we in? We're in beta. We just launched to a few people. We're invitation only now. We have a lot of additional features, but right now, behind the scenes, we've got over 300 plus variables, but we take the most obvious and we include them in a competitor profile. We auto detect every week. We do a scan, tens of thousands of searches of your keywords, variables, against those variables that are on the competitors who are showing up in your trade area, and we actually compare, how are you doing for those? This is really important, because all this then takes those keywords and we turn them into what we call, optimization with AI. So what we do is we recommend, okay, this is based on this category, here's how you should optimize your profile. Here's the kind of, here's the things you need to do to actually be more competitive based on what Google's rewarding your competitors. So we have auto optimization, we have auto content, and we provide auto recommendations and changes on a weekly basis to everything you need to do to the profile. We also do auto posting, and we don't just provide, okay, well, let me start a post. And what all this does, it goes out every week and it looks at your trade area. It compares, how often are my competitors posting? I need to do one better. And all this will schedule your posts. It'll create your posts. It'll make the pictures, and it'll allow you to actually literally read your post and click a box and it'll take care of everything for you. We are also adding in the next month posting to Instagram and Facebook so you can get additional social signals. But all this takes care of all of this for you. So you're literally, if you're doing it yourself, you can do it in minutes. If you're doing it with a virtual assistant, you just expanded their workload to handle 100 clients instead of 10. And again, all of this is done on automation. We have all of the client reporting you need. So it's in your name, it's done by branded source. You have all sorts of variables here. And we have monthly reports, prospect reports, comparison reports, where you could take, because we run maps every week on your main keywords. You could actually compare one map with another at any time and use it to spot check or for yourself or to send to a client. We also have really cool features in here where you can hide negative performance. Why do we include that? Well, because, especially when you take over an account, you don't want to show any red arrows on your reporting, and you can take it off and focus on the things that you're doing really positively. In the next 30 days, we're adding a report that shows all the work that all this does on top of this, and you actually can provide it as your work that you're doing for the client, and all this will supply that as well.